Feliciano Lopez addressed Carlos Alcaraz French Open semifinal match against Novak Djokovic. The 20-year-old started cramping in the third set and barely won a game afterwards. Carlos Alcaraz has received some reassurance after a disappointing end to his French Open showdown with Novak Djokovic. The pair contested two tight sets before the 20-year-old started cramping, and Alcaraz won just one more game after the physical issues set in. But Feliciano Lopez believes the world number 2 is an animal, and will be able to overcome the issues with more experience. Alcaraz admitted that his cramps were likely down to the pressure of playing such a big match, especially against a champion like Djokovic. The top seed at the French Open could be seen struggling physically at the end of the second set, and at 1-1 in the third he forfeited a game to receive treatment. He went on to lose 6-3, 5-7, 6-1, 6-1 as he could barely move by the end of the match. And Alcaraz's countryman has now admitted that he wasn't surprised the 20-year-old struggled physically given his lack of experience in the latter stages of a major. Speaking to FA, former world number 12 Lopez said, "I wasn't that surprised. These are things that can happen. It is played with brutal intensity. The first two sets lasted 2.5 hours, and at that intensity and without having had that experience that Djokovic has in these types of matches are things that can happen." The match marked just the second Grand Slam semifinal in Alcaraz's career. In his first, at last year's US Open, he went on to win the title. But Lopez thought the 20-year-old needed some more matches at that stage under his belt. The 41-year-old continued, "Carlos is still very young. He has a lot of pressure on his back. I was surprised, if anything, that it happened to him after finishing the second set. It is true that those first two sets were brutally intense. Points were played that punished you muscularly and physically. I also think it's a matter of how you approach those games. But as soon as Carlitos plays 3 or 4 more Grand Slam semifinals at that level, these things will not happen to him again." Lopez, who is in his final year as a professional tennis player, also reminded Alcaraz that Djokovic was playing in his 45th semifinal at major level. The Serb is now just one semifinal away from equaling Roger Federer's men's record of 46. He added, "It should not be forgotten that Djokovic had played 45 Grand Slam semifinals counting the one from the other day, and for Carlitos it was the second. When you see those numbers and who you have in front of you, I think these things can happen and you should give them more importance. Carlitos is physically an animal, a person who lives for and for tennis, who takes great care of himself, who has everything he needs to be successful, and I would not give more importance to what happened beyond the fact that it is a shame that we all had high hopes for this Roland Garros with him."